'Twas the week before Christmas, Stevie P, and we are here. What are they gonna hear? Our viewers, our listeners are gonna talk about Milan Monza. We're gonna talk about a toy and food drive. The rest of Serie A. We're gonna get your feelings about the Champions League slash Europa League. And Stevie P, people, just in case, are you guys gonna go on Christmas time? You're gonna have a special. Well, what should they do just to make sure that whatever going on are not going live?
Subscribe, guys. Hit that subscribe button. Get us to 10K like Liban put in the chat. Guys, to hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and then hit that little bell, and then you're going to know if we're on Christmas Day.
And there we go. And without further ado, are we ready, Stevie P?
Let's go.
Let's get the show on the roll, guys.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa della Giroud in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Coast to coast del numero 19.
Leao carica il boccino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome into another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan. Christmas came early, Milan. 3 goals and 2 injuries, Milan. Stevie P, Vinny T, always here faithfully. We need to talk about, you need your AC Milan content dosage. That's what we're here for. And not only us, Coast to Coast is going to come on Wednesdays like they do every Wednesday. It is the holiday season, Stevie P, so let's just take the time to talk about what went on yesterday. First, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to Juan, thank you to Jose, thank you to Vinny Mancini for the donations on GoFundMe. We put some extra dollars there. Thank you to the Patreon family to providing that extra donation. So as you can see there, that's me and you, Stevie P. You had just came by to give the donation, some nice winter coats. Brought the kids over, and it was nice, even though it was not wintry. It's raining and no snow. It is what it is, but what a great little experience. And just talk about how it came to be, like, you taking stuff from the local soccer organization, bringing some hand sanitizer, some winter coats, and as I go through these pictures.
Yeah, so one of the projects from the new governing board at CSRDP was what we deemed Operation Sugar Shack Cleanup. For those in the east end of Montreal, we know that the CSRDP's clubhouse resembles a sugar shack. It's thankfully and gratefully given by the Ville de Montréal as an old firehouse, which was transformed into a clubhouse, and the garage is used as a storage unit for anything from equipment to gear to apparel and so on and so forth. Operation Sugar Shack Cleanup was headed by a fellow board member, Nick Bagnoli, Leo Catalano, Giovanni Iceman, and the rest of the crew putting in a lot of work, guys. One of the corners of the clubhouse they had not seen in 10 years. And right now that clubhouse is impeccable. And due to this project, we were able to find apparel that does not fit our athletic gear sponsorship with Evangelista Sport. So what better to do than discussing with the board and being able to donate this, split the donations, of course, give a little bit to our local community here in Rivière des Prairies, a church that's near our home. And the rest of it, hand sanitizer and winter coats, going to the Southside Toy and Food Drive for their 15th year anniversary. We did bring the kids. You saw that picture. Myself and Nick did bring our kids just to show them that not everybody has everything. And that's something that I think this generation is missing, because they're all about I want, and they forget that there's kids out there and families out there who need our charitable donations when we can. And, every dollar counts. Like you said, Vinny, thank you to the Patreon family for donating. Thank you to everybody at Southside Toy and Food Drive for 15 magical years. And thank you for including me in some of those years.
And it's everybody asking, the last one, we call it the curtain call. How many toy and food drives have popped up, Steve, in the last 15 years? Everybody's doing their own thing, and it was good. I think it was the first time in 15 years we actually took it easy, not on the trucks, that their whole crew. We filled up, I think it was more than toys this time. So from the Welcome Hall mission, and they were really happy they came by, and it was a great evening. And who knows what next year brings. But thank you to you guys, to SRDP. Thank you to all the donors. Again, to Jose, to Juan, to Vinny Mancini from the GoFundMe. Every dollar counts. We've gone through so many donations at one point to so little. In the end, it's not about the amount; it's about the gesture. So thank you to all. Looking forward to, let's see, maybe what next year brings. Steve, I wanted to, before we get into the game, I wanted to get your thoughts of the exit from Milan from the Champions League. We haven't spoken. We've spoken since then, but a lot of people, Europa League or whatever, and my mentality was, we drew Stade Rennais, that was on today, and I think my mentality was, thank God for Europa League, because hopefully we can make it far, because the discussion came back to, we are a business now. It sucks to say, but if we don't get some sort of extra revenue that they thought they were going to get, we would have to probably sacrifice somebody in the summer. So I'm okay with Europa League. I think you've said your piece in the past, where it's like, maybe Europa League is a tournament that we can actually win. But your thoughts on the exit to the Newcastle and the Champions League, and still winning, comeback win, but making Europa League.
Yeah, so we exit the Champions League, and again, we have no one to blame but ourselves. You look back now, and you think about the chances missed against Newcastle, against Dortmund, where we drew, and instead of picking up full points, that in the end did cause us to exit the Champions League. So it's not something that we planned on. I think looking at the group, it was going to always be a tough group, but we also spoke about it many times, right? PSG wasn't playing the best, Dortmund wasn't playing the best, and Newcastle was new to the party. So in the end, it's Milan and Newcastle that bow out, and it's Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund that move on. Now we look to the Europa League, and I think it's a tournament that we should take seriously, because I think it's a European exposure for a lot of the youngsters that are on this team, especially with the new blood coming in, that they need as much European experience as they can get. The injury front is a bit of a problem, especially playing more than once a week. Over the weekend, we're going to talk about it, some more injuries. But I think, Milan and the team, I think they'll take it seriously. I think Europa League is something that they're going to take seriously. And now Stade Rennes is the next opponent. And it's back-to-back, 15th and the 22nd, 2 important days. We're not going to spoil the fun, but whatever. So, yeah, again, guys, the Champions League is a tough tournament. We know that. And you have to be able to protect your house, and you have to be able to collect maximum points when you deserve maximum points. And, I just go back to that Newcastle game, the first one of the season, that 0-0 draw at home. I think we should have won. We missed too many chances. And the first half of the last week's game was like, come on, guys. You need to show up. Like, this is something that that I wasn't expecting. The first half, I was really pissed off. I really didn't even want to watch anymore because it wasn't what I was expecting.
Lab Gorilla saying, have you had any follow-up conversation with the Newcastle fans, the channel that you hosted, Vinny, regarding the take on the match in the UK? We had a major sports radio host literally trash Milan, saying that Newcastle would win Serie A easily. For sure, he was saying it to generate views, but it makes me wonder what the Newcastle fan base made of the match and the way it unfolded. And, thanks to Pete and the guys, because I messaged him after, and he's like, you know what? He goes, you were the better team and you deserve to win, because it doesn't seem like we showed up. And they have their injuries as well. Steve, you have toxic fan bases throughout all Milan first, right? Milan first, we have some, but those guys were pretty cool, and for them, it kind of sucks. No Europa League, no Champions League, but their battle is not that their finishing top four is going to be as easy as last year for Newcastle. But thank you to those guys, and yes, probably for views. Just like Milan has this toxic fan, Steve. But did you get any glimpses of Newcastle fans thinking they were already in Champions League?
No, besides the great guys that had you on, there's Salzburg Steve, who's the Newcastle fan, but I don't know many more Newcastle fans. But
Strasbourg, not Salzburg.
Well, I call him Salisbury Steve. And guys, the EPL is always going to trust Serie A. They want to be the best. They think they're the best. They play the best football. They make the most money. Unfortunately, the soccer gods, they kick in at a certain point, right? And after the first half, yes, Newcastle did have the lead. A moment of just
brilliance. What a beautiful
lack of
goal.
Defending on Milan's part, and brilliance from the Newcastle player, and they took the lead. But they had some other chances that they did not put away, and that's what happens. The game changes, and actually our subs that came in actually made an impact, which was very promising. So we knew that there was going to be a biscotto on the hand with PSG and Dortmund, and it was exactly that, biscotto. And they passed, and we go to Europa League. So
supposedly Mbappe wasn't happy. That what's his name there, Luis Enrique, says, okay, we're good, it's 1-1. Then again, these things said behind closed doors, are they real or are they not real? But we only have ourselves to be blamed. Look at the stats. One of our Matt's saying 25 shots on goal, 9 on target, and weren't able to score. Those two first games, Steve. Those two first games were killers, right? So
yeah.
It is what it is. Let's see what the season holds for us. February, right? February, the 2 legs, and who knows? What is it? Sevilla that won it 7 times, Steve? Guys, it's money. Let's go. People want to talk about the Coppa Italia is not important and the Europa League is nothing. And Steve, wasn't Roma champions of Europe when they won the conference confederation conference league? Whatever. There we go. So
the Lupo Award originated from that.
Let's take it up to Sunday, 6:30 a.m. for us here on the East Coast. Look at Sonny. He went with the 3-man defense, the switching at one point, the injuries. Steve, it is Milan Monza. I know you don't want to take anybody lightly, but I think this was and it could have finished 5-0. Giroud with how many goals did we miss in the last 10 minutes there? But a convincing win, and a needed convincing win, especially with the results from the rest of Serie A. Your takes?
Yeah, we usually don't do well at the 12 o'clock games, European time. So it was refreshing to see a 3-0 win. It was hard to get up 6:30 in the morning, but we're up. We watch. Thank you to Fubu for allowing us to record our beloved Milan, and maybe not 6:30, maybe 6:45, and turn off all your notifications. So, look, it needed to be convincing. It was convincing. I wasn't a fan of this Podbega involved in the back three. I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking it. I've been saying it for the longest time. We have Primavera players that play center back. Let's use these Primavera players to play center back.
I didn't get that, but then it was like, yes, Fabio too. Even to Gio, it was 2:30 in the morning for this guy. What a trooper! But Steve, yes to the Primavera players, and we're gonna talk about Simic coming on after. But who pissed in Krunich's Cheerios or cornflakes? Look, the guy is not seeing anything. I don't know what's going on from being a Pioli's chouchou, as we would say here in français. He's not seeing any time whatsoever. So a Pioli of 6 months ago, Krunic would have been in that back thing. Anyways, Pobega gets hurt, right? Simic comes on, and what a fairy tale beginning for him, right? And they
Yes.
saw, it was great to see like all the his teammates like just being happy for him, right?
Yeah, it was nice to see the young guy get in. His parents were in the stands to witness his first goal, first start. Great on him, and I think he was composed. I don't think he was nervous. Yes, we did take a very early lead, but there was a lot of game to play. So chapeau to him and congratulations to him. That was just fantastic to see, and I think Milan needed a moment like that. With the Krunic thing, this can only mean two things. One, he's injured, which is obviously a possibility. We never know. Just because you're sitting on the bench doesn't mean you're healthy, especially at Milan. Or it is the swan song of Krunic, and he is gone in January to whichever Turkish club thinks he's the next coming of Iniesta, and will pay the price for Krunic, and he does not want to get injured. I'm not 100% sure, but when you're in the doghouse after being someone who's so beloved by your coach and used in multiple situations, and you're getting beat now from other guys, I think it's over. If it's not over, I'll be very shocked, and then I'm not really understanding what the play is here, especially when we need bodies. I'm curious to see what happens this Saturday. Now with Pobega hurt. Friday. Sorry. I'm curious to see. It's nice to see a game where there's more goals than injuries. Let's leave it at that.
More goals than injuries. Fabio saying that his indigestion was Okafor with his maybe celebration. Steve, I'm gonna go with Giroud on this one. For me, our friends at Milan post like the tops and flops. Giroud, I didn't see him all game, and it's a couple of games. I don't want to trash on the guy, right? But it's a couple of games I don't see him, very present. And there was that one moment in the last 10 minutes. It's like, dude, come on, man! You had like every opportunity. You can see a little bit of frustration in his face. I'm not worried, but tops would have to be. Rangers played fantastic. Even Florenzi played fantastic, Steve. A couple of great shots, but for me, flop would have to be Pulisic as well. What a crossbar that he hit. But do you agree with maybe Giroud as being a flop for you?
Yeah, it's hard to put Giroud a flop, but he did have an assist. For me, I just didn't see enough, and it's a couple of games now. I didn't see enough from Theo Hernandez. I find that was not very active in this game. I didn't find that he was at the energy level of everybody else. Now, like Giroud, they have tons and tons and tons of minutes in their legs. They've been playing consistently. Giroud missed 2 matches because of a red card. If he doesn't get that red card, I'm telling you, he's playing those other games. We also have to remember his age, but Hernandez has been off. I think this inverted center back switch that was done last game and the Champions League game. I think I've seen enough of that. I'd rather keep him at left back, or left wing back, or whatever you want to call it, and insert someone who actually played center back. And let's try, like Simic now. Besides the goal, it's someone that I think we need to see a bit more of. Protect him, shield him. Maybe that's going to make the defense gel a little bit more. They're going to have that added responsibility of keeping people from getting behind them, plus protecting the youngster. And I think Tomori thrives with that. When he's the one who doesn't have to play the ball out of the back, and Simic looked like he was a bit comfortable on the ball as well, with Kajar back there.
And Kajar too, Steve. You know what? For being back after all this time, we like to say the old man, but he did his job. He did his job,
Yeah.
Simon. So on that note, well, let's see, like you said, what's going to happen on Friday. Okafor, I want to talk about injuries and explanations, but you get an injury on that, supposedly on the celebration, and it's like, we need you, kid. Like, you can't. And he posted on Instagram that doesn't think it's going to be too serious, but still, we have a game on Friday. Then we play on the following on the 30th, on the following Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Do you want to trash on him for this, or is this like, like you said, thank God for more goals than injuries, but in the end, man, even like Musa wasn't starting because of muscle fatigue. It's laughable now, Steve, is it not?
Yeah, there's just too much, and I think they're just playing too much soccer. We've said this millions of times on the show. I'm not going to trash on someone for celebrating a goal. He does come in and play sparing minutes. He just came back from injury. People have done dumber things in the past to celebrate and have not gotten injured. This is just bad luck. And of course, it seems like it's following Milan around.
Only to us these things happened. That's what I hate when they say like they're playing too much soccer, but nobody has injuries quite like us. Steve, are you ready to go through, the other scores of beloved this year? Are we ready to do that? And then we're going to take a little questions, some busted tweets, unless you wanted something to add.
Let's go!
This segment is brought to you by Fubo TV, your home for all things Serie A here in Canada. Watch it in Italian, watch it in English, record even the EPL if you're in to the best league in the world, Steve, as they like to say. But we started off on Friday.
Thank God this game was on Friday.
Steve,
wow.
They didn't score in the 95th minute. What's going on? Genoa, Juventus, 1-1, and now the title race is over now, Steve, for Juventus. It's over for this time. But why do you say that? You were not entertained by the 1-1 draw?
Wow, like Juve scoring first, it's like almost automatically put you to bedtime. They did not want to play soccer anymore. I don't get it. I'm not understanding what they're worried about. I think they have some dynamic players that could contribute to a very attacking football style. And no disrespect to Genoa, but you're not playing Inter, you're not playing Napoli, you're not playing Lazio, Milan, Roma, where that extra bit of quality does come into play, and you might take one. I just don't get it. And again, we always say no one's going to remember the ugly football. They're going to remember the 1-0 win. The Juve fans are remembering the ugly football, and they're going to remember this 1-1 tie.
Definitely. So just a 1 point to each. Lecce beating Frosinone 2-1 on Saturday. And Steve, it was almost time. It was almost time that he could have just put up 1 point on his third match, but Walter Mazzari and friends pull up, and deservingly so.
No. Hold on.
No, oh, okay.
Let's correct that. Victor Osimhen.
Oh, okay.
Gets 3 points for Napoli. He does all the work on the second goal.
He does. He should, does he?
All the work. No one untouchable in the box. That has nothing to do with Mazzari. They have problems at Naples still, because that's not going to happen every game. And Keke with a nice finish. The game was surprisingly closer than I thought it would be, and that just makes everybody understand that this is not the same Napoli of last year. I don't think we're gonna see the Napoli of last year this year.
No.
And with the other teams continue to win, when we look at the standings, they need to climb into that top 4 position. They need to.
Definitely. Torino putting up 3 points at home against Empoli. Obviously, the Milan to Monza 3-0 win. And where's my other? Oh, I think I forgot. I think I forgot a slide, Steve. So let me see. Did I put up the other slide? I did. I did forget the other slide. So, hold on a second. Let me just verbally say these. Hold on a second here. Let me put this up, Steve. Why don't you entertain while I pull up this? Oh, here we go. Share screen.
We're allowed.
We're allowed. Okay, here we go. So, Udinese, Sassuolo. Still no 3 points on this one, but still an entertaining game, Steve. Udinese, Sassuolo. Did you able to catch a bit of these highlights, or what you
I
think
did
about
catch. I have a lot, surprisingly, in my Fantacalcio, multiple Udinese players who did not play, besides Wallace. So I did tune into this one to see if they were going to get on. I do have Consigli in nets for Sassuolo, and there's one guarantee in life is that Consigli takes at least 2 goals every week.
So sharing the spoils here at Udine. Fiorentina, another 3, maybe not the most exciting game, Steve. Fiorentina putting up the 3 points against Verona. Dude, nobody's talking about
Bologna.
Fiorentina, but
Bologna, we're going to skip
you want to go
Fiorentina and we're going to go to Bologna. Bologna
Bologna,
is in
Rome.
the top 4.
Bologna is in the top 4, as we will see soon. But Steve, what say you to Roma fans? What would they explain to this one?
They have no explanation. I think Bologna was by far the better team. They had no solution. A fantastically coached team, Bologna is, by Thiago Motta. They're firing on all cylinders, and it's exciting to see a different team in that top 4. If they're not the supermarket of the January transfer window, and Mr. Sapuro gives directives to keep these players, I think they'll have a nice end to the season. Can they keep it up? It's a season, but a lot of promise on the Bologna squad.
To keep it up, I'm not sure about that unless they could play spoilers for a lot of these teams, but after this is what week 16, Steve. It's still impressive to see, but Roma, nothing to write home about. Another team that had nothing to write home about, which I thought it's 2 weeks in a row. I think they're gonna lose points. No, not losing points. Inter. I'm beginning to believe that them taking a dip, is it gonna happen? It doesn't seem, but Steve, Lazio, I don't know. I thought we were gonna see the Dr. Jekyll on this one, but we saw Mr. Hyde, and they've been seeing Mr. Hyde. Your takes on this game? Is Inter that good?
I think
two shots, two opportunities, and they scored.
Yeah, I think Inter is very clinical. They're that good. They take advantage of their opportunities, and then they just manage the game properly. I think Lazio had no answers. Taking a red card, Lazio was not the best idea. Also cost me in my Fantacalcio, just letting everybody know. And again, guys, it's Inter taking advantage of their chances while everybody else
squanders.
They put in so much work to get chances, and they just met with a wall of blue and black, and they don't let in goals. And it's something that I don't know if it's going to change. A lot of people, yourself included, are looking for this dip. I don't know where this dip is going to come. Maybe in the new year, but it's going to be something very, very hard to come back with if they keep on building this lead over second.
And then leave it to Italian media. Un sorriso per l'Inter because they draw Atletico. Somehow Atletico is a subpar team, Steve. That it's going to be an easy draw for Inter, but there's Simeone on the other side, so I don't think it's going to be an easy draw for Inter. But it is what it is. Atalanta today 4-1. Went down 1-0 Salernitana, but CDK with a goal in a sense, Stevie P. You know what? I know it's not like he's put up the big numbers here. Atalanta finally another 3 points needed. Do you take him back, CDK? I know it's Salernitana today. I know it's like a goal and assist, but
I don't know.
Do you see him
I
in
don't
this?
know. I don't even know if I could answer that because I'm not 100% convinced that Atalanta buys it. So I think
No, they're
if
not
he
gonna.
comes back forcefully, and then that's a different conversation, right? So Atalanta with 2 wins in a row, one that we gifted them and the other one that they took versus Salernitana today. But do I take back CDK? I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know where he would play on this team. And anyways, we shall see. But this is the way it looks. Sonny's like, hey, Vinny, by the way, I'm gonna put 3 points to Atalanta. I can put up the score. I don't think they should screw up. And then I see Salernitana 1-0 after. I'm like, shit, Sonny, we're gonna have to screw up. But no, they finally made it. Again, I like to always ask you a couple of weeks ago. So far, your most what the fuck position right now?
Bologna 4.
Bologna 4, and your like face palm position. Would it still be Lazio?
I think it's Lazio, uh, Lazio and Roma, the Roman teams on the second column of our board, 8 and 10, 8 and 11th respectively, 4 points difference between the two.
How about Udinese? Like you never expect Udinese to be like bottom 4, but anyways, maybe we're just too used to them being ball busters every single year. But no, not Bologna definitely, but Lazio 21. Steve,
Sassuolo needs to wake up.
yeah, wow, even Sassuolo, man, my goodness. Well, okay, so Steve, let's close it off by. And that segment was brought to you by Fubo.tv, your home for everything Serie A in Canada. Steve, before I get to Nico's question, I wanted to ask you something about a couple of posts coming saying it has been decided Milan is going to finish the year with Pioli, and they're going to go get another coach, and this and that. And I like what Omar put in the Patreon. Guys, I don't get this. I think if a team would actually decide this, I think it would be a bit more secretive than just to put it up on social media. And I agree with him. Steve, my question to you would be, if Milan in the top 4 somehow, some way wins one of the trophies between Coppa Italia and Europa League,
They're not getting rid of Pioli.
I don't think so.
No, they're not going to get rid of it.
Do you?
And again, why would you?
He's got another year, I believe. I think
You're paying him. It's not only that. It's, again, we always knew. And if you didn't know, we're going to remind you again. Pioli was a caretaker manager hire. And to get to that next level, there's going to need to be a next level manager, which will we get, when we get, I don't know. And that has a lot to do with multiple factors: what we can spend, what the league is doing, where we are financially. There's many options. So everybody who thinks they know or don't know what's going to happen with Pioli, at this point, once you qualify for Champions League and you can win a trophy, or you have the ability to win a trophy, either Europa League or Coppa Italia, and you happen to win that trophy, there's not much other silverware out there, right? Besides the Scudetto and the Champions League, which you've been kicked out of. I don't know what else these managers have to do, right? So there's always a story. There's when it's bad, it's on them. When it's good, it's not on them. It's
like I was saying,
hard.
like if we end up, I don't know, winning the next 5-6 games in a row, Steve, nobody's going to be talking about Pioli. That's all. We've criticized him in the past. We've questioned some of his decisions. We have never been the Pioli in or Pioli out kind of guys. It just feel like, and we've said the discussions about Conte was because Conte is not a project kind of guy. He's there for a year and a half, 2 years. And I think at one point my argument was like, if we needed to get rid of him, we'll splash the cash and try to salvage whatever the case may be. But I don't think this ownership is going to change $1 for 4 quarters.
No, but this ownership might splash the cash in January. But I hope they don't panic, because a lot's riding on their mercato. Remember, it's the transition from Maldini to, let's say, the new sporting director Moncheda and Furiani, and they wanna make sure that they don't disappoint. What will they do in the January transfer window, where traditionally we haven't done a lot? I'm expecting them to spend more than they have in the past. So I'm curious to see what direction we're looking at.
It's great you're talking about that, because it segues into Nico's question. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on management spending money on a new center back and right back in the next mercato when we have Simic and Jimenez? It's got a point. Do you spend money on a center back? Do you spend money on a
Well, it's
right?
kind of too late now because you don't know if they can give you the minutes that you need, right? So we've seen Simic for 2 seconds. We haven't seen Jimenez besides playing in the Primavera, and we all know that the Primavera and the big time is two different ball games and two different animals. If they would have been able to play them a little bit more and would have been able to see them more, I would say, yeah, you could roll the dice and play the Primavera players, but we haven't seen them enough. And at this point, those guys are going to protect their mercato, and they're going to protect what they think the direction of the team had to go from the summer. I think they spend.
Hopefully they will. And you know what, Steve? I completely forgot. I know you're talking about your Fantacalcio. Ciao, Presidente. Peter is back in first of the Serie A fantasy. Cardinale, Chicken Carm. The top five, they're always there. The top five. I like the Chooch FC in ninth place. Steve, how are you doing, man? Are you up there? Are you battling? What's going on there in your Fantacalcio?
We got hammered. Red cards, 2 goals, no one scoring. Very bad for me for this week.
Very bad. So, but guys, have some fun there in Serie A fantasy. Change up your players. Serie A is going no break this holiday season, Steve. You know what? I don't mind this not playing from the 23rd till I believe the 29th, like that 1 week off, right? But do you still see guys, correct me if I'm wrong, Boxing Day, there's always DPL on everything. And I remember, Steve, you always brought forward that, like the NBA, there's nothing on, everybody is home, everybody's relaxing. What's on TV? The EPL, the NBA, sometimes some NFL, I believe, as well. But do you think this is a missed opportunity? I know Italy's very very religious country, very holidays, and I get this. It's time to take a break. I prefer this week off than to take what do we used to take, Steve? 3 weeks off?
Well, I have no idea. I remember what they're gonna do. Just this year doesn't really matter. There's gonna be too much stuff on. Christmas falls on a Sunday. There's gonna be NFL. There's gonna be NBA. There's going to be EPL. It's gonna be even if Serie A was on, I don't think it would have been able to capture many viewers, unfortunately, just because of all the other sports that are going to be on at the same time, especially here in North America. But the other opportunities when Serie A and when Christmas and New Year's fell during the week, I think those were opportunities that they should have jumped on. Right now, again, it's the marketing of Serie A that needs to improve. We haven't hid the fact that we're not up to par with these other leagues and what we're doing, and we don't think out of the box.
Germany's still taking their 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off. They're off
Yeah.
from the 20th to the 12th of January. I was just checking. I'm like, did they change? No, they did not change. Off for like 3 weeks, almost a month. Hey, it is what it is. But Germany,
that's a vacation. That's a vacation.
It is.
Like it's smart. It's smart in a way. They don't care, right? They do what they're gonna do, and the players actually get a vacation. I don't know.
It could go.
I find they play too much, and at this point, there's just too many games in these guys' legs.
But how do they manage with the Euros? Like Italy's not taking a break because of the Euros, and Germany's like, oh fuck it, we're taking 3.5 weeks off still. But Steve,
they'll get them in.
Fuji's and Funyuns, he's asking for a Christmas wish. Can you help him out, man?
Ciao ragazzi, ciao Ale, come stai? Ciao Presidente, il vero Presidente, come stai te? Tutto bene?
Tutto bene, grazie.
And a happy birthday to Presidente today and Mario Vape. They both born on the same day, different years. Happy birthday to Presidente and Mario Vape.
Did you see what the president's wife got him, Steve, on Facebook? He got the Milan, Montreal, Milan Club Montreal apron. He got a cake with Milan on it.
On
Firstly,
fire.
happy birthday, Presidente. How old is he now, Steve?
He looks like he's 34, guys. He's just a beast. He's been at the gym. He's been pumping some iron. He's in shape.
Happy birthday, Presidente. And let's finish off, Stevie P, with Jan's contribution to the Milan Weekly podcast. Let's take a look at some busted the calcio reposts. Is that what it's called now? Repost?
Busted X.
Busted X. What is he have for us under door number one? Ronaldinho versus Osasuna. All touches, match week 27. I went to his best season, picked a random number between 1 and 38 and got 27. This is what his average game was. Users need to stop acting like these guys were some otherworldly gods. At M4 when did this guy start watching Ronaldinho, Steve? Why we're acting like he was a, otherworldly gods? What does FT users mean? FT, is that some sort of, it's not full time. But anyways, he's just basically saying, why are you exaggerating the feats of a guy like Ronaldinho?
So this is when Busted X should give you a punch in the face button. We were talking about this in the car with my wife. Busted X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube should give you a punch in the face button, where when someone posts something like this and has absolutely no idea what Ronaldinho is, or is using the platform for his personal gain of stupidity,
yes,
you should be allowed to hit the button to punch him in the face one time. And just like in the bridge of the nose so that he bleeds and he understands that he's made a very grave mistake in the world of social media.
Because you know what? Even if it wasn't his best game against Osasuna, you're talking about Ronaldinho here, dude. You're talking about fucking Ronaldinho. Anyways, okay, so this is a pretty good contender. Slide number 2, we have at Yash, Allegri made this guy into a bum. Dusan Vlahovic, 33 goals in 2021, and now he's made him into a bum. Steve, one thing that Vlahovic is not is a bum. Might not be scoring the goals that he's been scoring when he used to be at Fiorentina, but it's funny how if this guy was a Milanista and they said you're capable of buying Vlahovic, I think he would be saying yes to that kind of offer. Now this one, no. He's definitely not a bum.
Look, he's not 100% wrong.
He's not a bum, Steve.
No, he's not a bum, but the youngsters nowadays, they don't know how to express themselves the correct way.
Oh, okay.
But no, Allegri has.
He's okay.
He has contributed to his lack of goal scoring opportunities, at least.
100%. How much does Vlahovic go for nowadays? He would get 50, 60 million. Would Juve get 50, 60 million for Vlahovic? 100%.
From some EPL team, but is he worth 50, 60 million? Not right now.
So like maybe he's okay. So okay, I get what you're saying, that these kids maybe the bum is.
If Milan would want to buy him, Juve would want 140 million.
You know what? It's sad because it's true. And what else does he have for us on here? Not to be hashtag that guy, but he's not getting that off in the Premiership. Serie A center backs are just not particularly physical in general. Seen what his back to goal game looks like versus more physical center backs, and it usually isn't pretty. Talking about those men just doing all the work. Steve, if he was in the Premiership,
he would be blowing by the cones that are center backs in the Premiership.
Harry Maguire,
Survive
Stevie
that
would have
30
stopped
and
him.
0 run, whatever the burner account you are, when you watch the English Premier League and they kick the ball and chase it like dogs, Osimhen in the Premiership would be, I'm not saying at Haaland level, because Haaland
No.
plays with Manchester City and they play for him a bit too much
But
sometimes.
Steve, Harry Maguire would stop him on that.
There's not that many. Yes, it is more physical. He's just that fast. And the EPL defenders are just not that smart. The only reason why he's back to goal here is because the Serie A defenders are just that smart. Yes, even at Cagliari. They understand he cannot get behind them. And this goal is all about his work and his touch and, him attracting multiple players that could not get the ball off him and pass it off to KK, who's just standing there. If you look at the picture,
Look, it's true.
it looks like he's standing in line at Walmart. He's just watching. He's waiting. He knows he's going to get the ball. Sooner or later, he's getting the ball. He has his hands on his hips, Vinny. He's standing at Videotron, where you work, waiting to ask for, what's the price? Or can you please transfer my Facebook user friends from this phone to that phone? That's what he's waiting for.
So that's what he had for us. But is this
is the winner? That's the winner. No, he beats Ronaldinho. That guy.
He does beat Ronaldinho, right?
Because it's again Chelsea loan army.
He's like, sign him immediately. What the hell did I just watch? Which is like a good reaction.
Chelsea loan army is really like jumping on the parade, right?
Yeah.
Of course, sign Chelsea. That's all they want to do. Just sign people. Just continuously sign people.
And they will send them on loan somewhere.
1 billion people on loan. It's okay, but just sign Osimhen right away. But again, it's just some of the it's. I think that people watch the EPL half-assed and, just pick up keywords, the Michael Richards and the people that comment on the EPL, the Roy Keane, they say funny things. Gary Neville, he says funny things, keywords, Neville, whatever the hell his name is. Funny tidbits, like physicality and, and great English accent words that, even if you say them in regular English, don't sound really nice. And then they think they could repeat them on a tweet and it's going to make sense. Look, he's in the EPL. He's not even in that position. He's blowing by everybody. And if he's in that position, one dumbass center back from the EPL is dragging him down and it's a penalty shot. There's no way they're going to look for that the whole time.
Gotta love Stevie P with his insight on these ones. So yes, definitely busted tweet. We gotta put it to it's the burner. So survived that 30-0 run. Anyways, maybe he's trolling, maybe he's not. Who the hell cares? Steve. Liban Yusuf has to be a busted culture tweet here in review. I think Jan would have a field day on that one. Steve, it is Christmas next Monday. I don't know. Maybe I just might go on to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We don't know, but what they need to do is they need to subscribe, hit that little subscribe button, the little bell. They will let you know. Maybe I might come on with the eggnog. Steve, do you do eggnog?
No,
I think it's an American thing. This whole eggnog.
I don't know.
Us Canadians, we don't do eggnog, but no. Fabio and Gio will be on Wednesday to go more in depth on the analysis of the games on the Champions League and from the Monza game. Friday, guys, I'm working, so no pregame unless Fabio and Gio decide to do it on their own. But Stevie P, if we don't see you, we'll see you before the new year, definitely.
Absolutely.
But what are you expecting Friday against? What are we playing Friday?
Salernitana.
Leave it to Serie A, Steve. Salernitana on a Monday, and plays Milan on a Friday. Because they have Champions League, no Salernitana.
Right.
What are you expecting? You expecting we are away at home, but
I want 3 points. 3 points, convincing 3 points, and I'll be happy and going to Christmas a happy camper.
There we go. And for all you Italians, don't eat no meat on the 24th, because if not, like my nonna would say, you're going
You'll
straight to
catch
hell.
on fire.
Catch on fire. On that note, Stevie P, anything else to close us off with?
Guys, thank you very much for your continued support. And I wish you a Merry Christmas in case I'm not on Monday. Guys, thank you to everybody, guys, the thousands that tune in, and the hundreds, the tens of thousands that have tuned in throughout the year. Guys,
Yes.
It's amazing. It's fantastic for us. It's a moment, 60 minutes of peace, 60 minutes of getting out of regular day life to talk about our beloved Milan. So I want to thank you all, the Patreon family, the guys who tune in online, the guys who comment, the guys who interact here in the chat. Guys, very humbling. And again, I wish you all a happy holidays and health and happiness to you and your families.
Definitely. Steve, before I let you go, which panettone are you getting for that? Which one's your favorite? Is it the one with the sugar that you flop on top and you make French toast with it?
It's really hard. I really had a good one today with dried fruit inside. It was fantastic at my mother's
Really?
house.
The dried fruit one?
Yeah, it was great. I'm not a big fan of it, but it was great.
Nonna Vera
I'm
had the good.
I'm a panettone lover. I love panettone.
Nonna Vera, she had the good one. Then she didn't go with the cheap one like on special at the. It was
someone brought it to her. She didn't buy that thing, guaranteed.
And if you guys do not know, if you take that panettone with the powdered sugar, make French toast with that, it's fucking fantastic. To you guys, I'll probably see you next Monday. Maybe if it's just to come on to guys to wish you a Merry Christmas. And on that note, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!
Ciao, guys.
Vincerai, non ti lasci